According to Bankrate.com, Georgia is the 5th least expensive state to live in, and by contrast, Massachusetts is the 5th most expensive state to live in. To put that into perspective, the cost of living in Georgia is 88% of the national average, and by contrast, Massachusetts is about 35% higher than the national average. So if you're thinking about moving to North Georgia and what it may cost you to live here, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the cost of daily life, home ownership costs, and even the cost of owning a boat, since some of you will be moving over here to enjoy Lake Lanier or some of the other surrounding lakes. Hope you enjoy, and let's get into the rest of this video. Hey, my name is Tim Gibson and I am a residential realtor in North Georgia. My channel is all about living in North Georgia, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe so you can keep up with my latest videos. And of course, if you're thinking about moving to North Georgia, please reach out. I'd be more than happy to help you. So we are at the cost of living calculator. I'm going to leave a link to this calculator in the comments so you can compare and contrast your own area with this Dalton, Georgia that we're going to use as the example. We are going to use an example of someone coming from Orange County, California and moving to Dalton, Georgia. And Dalton, Georgia is in Northwest Georgia, and it will give you a general idea of what it's going to cost to live in North Georgia. And before we dive into these numbers, I want to give you a big disclaimer. Of course, I can't pretend to know everyone's situation, and I can't pretend to know everybody's particular expenses every month. That being said, we're going to use a very general example to give you a very general idea of what the cost of living will be in these two cities to give you a comparison. That being said, we are going to give you a very basic idea using this Bankrate calculator to give you just a snapshot of what it's going to take to live. If you are moving from Orange County, California, and I'm using Orange County because I've actually had 2 or 3 people reach out to me wanting to move from Orange County to North Georgia. Disclaimers out of the way, so let's dive into some numbers. Okay, again, we're using Orange County, California. So we got someone moving from Orange County. We are going to have them moving to Dalton, Georgia, which is in Northwest Georgia. And we are going to use an average income of about $100,000. Of course, your income may be different, vastly different, lower or higher than that, but this is just going to be used for our example. And this big number right here in bold, this is pretty wild, but to maintain your current standard of living in Dalton, Georgia, if you are coming from Orange County, all you need is $56,000 roughly, and that's pretty wild. So the cost of living is about 43% lower in North Georgia versus Orange County, California. Now, Orange County, we all know, is vastly different than North Georgia. But if you are thinking about making that move, the reality is it's going to be a whole lot cheaper. Are you close to the ocean? No. Do you have some of the same stuff you have in Orange County? Absolutely not. But your money will also go a whole lot further in Northwest Georgia, North Georgia versus Orange County. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to give you every single item here, but what's interesting is we're just going to scroll down and just look at all the green here. And we're looking at groceries first, every single thing except for a couple. Unless you're buying a whole bunch of potatoes or lettuce, you're looking like you're going to be coming out ahead at the grocery store. Housing costs, everything is way cheaper. And one I want to highlight right here is home price. Your average home price in Orange County is about $1.1 million. In Dalton, Georgia, it's about $294,000. 75% less. That's insane. So roughly you could buy about 2 or 3 houses for the same price as one house in Orange County, California. Speaking of housing, we wanted to go ahead and give you a general idea. Of course, this is going to be very general, especially on the interest rates, probably based off of what this is, but we're going to use the average interest rate based off of Bankrate.com. Of course, I will leave you a link on this mortgage calculator too, so you can play around with some of the numbers, but let's dive into it. We're just going to go with an average home price of $400,000, down payment of 20%, $80,000. Of course, you can change that around on your own if you want to play around with the calculator. 30-year loan, we're going to do a fixed rate of 7.22, which is the average rate right now. Of course, that changes daily, so your numbers may be a little bit different on the interest rate. We're going to use a zip code of 30533, which is a North Georgia zip code. And let's look at the monthly payment breakdown. As you can see right here, monthly payment is going to be about $2,500. Principal and interest is going to be around $2,176. property tax $263, homeowners insurance of about $66 per month. Of course, if you live in an HOA neighborhood, that's going to cost you a little bit more. You're going to be paying into the HOA every month or annually or semi-annually. And then you won't be paying PMI in this scenario because you're doing 20% down, but if you do less of a down payment. And PMI is private mortgage insurance, and you would be paying for PMI monthly if you put down less than 20%. So that number would also increase if you put less than 20% down. But as we see here, you're looking at about $2,500 a month on a $400,000 house in this scenario. Of course, all of these numbers are very general. It's just to give you a basic example. Plug your numbers in, play around with it, and see what you come up with. Also, real quick, I wanted to jump into some taxes. Everybody's favorite subject, I know. Aren't you just so excited we're talking about taxes right now? In general, you could expect to pay about 5.75 for Georgia state income tax. Of course, your tax bracket may be a little bit different, so that is not tax advice. That is me just giving you a basic quote. Most people pay about that 5.75% rate. Georgia sales tax is 4%, and you can expect to pay with Georgia local municipality and city taxes, you can expect to pay about somewhere around 7% for sales tax. Property tax is going to vary, of course, by location. We pulled some numbers from smartasset.com, and average county tax rate for Lumpkin County, which is a county I'm familiar with in North Georgia, comes out to about 0.8% of the assessed value. So this example, we just plugged in an assessed value of about $295,000, and that comes out to about $2360 per year in annual property taxes for Lumpkin County. Again, that's going to be vastly different based on the property type, the property value, and all that stuff, but you can get a basic idea of a basic house in Lumpkin County in this example. Some of you are wanting to move to North Georgia to enjoy Lake Lanier or one of the other awesome lakes we have in the area. So real quick, I just wanted to jump into some of the cost of boat ownership. Number one, the cost of the boat. If you have a 14-foot John boat with a little outboard motor, that's going to cost you a little bit less than a 42-foot yacht. That is going to be up to you as far as what you spend on the boat. For storage, for dry storage in like a storage facility that stores like RVs, cars and boats and stuff like that with a cover on it, it is open air. You can expect to pay somewhere around 70 to 100 bucks, maybe even a little more. And that's per month. And if you're wanting something nicer, if you want to be wet storage at a marina where you just walk out to the dock, you get on your boat, you untie the boat, and then you start enjoying the lake, that's going to cost you a whole lot more. It's going to be thousands of dollars a year more than likely. Boat maintenance, that's of course going to be another expense. Anything with a motor is going to cost you money. And the old saying, what is the old saying? You know, I've heard this a billion times, but the best way to enjoy a boat is to have a friend that owns one, and don't own one yourself. Take that for what it's worth. If you're talking about your expenses would be winterizing your boat when it gets cold, detailing the boat when you're ready to take it out in the spring, tuning up the motor, insurance, registration, if you have any repairs, any damages. Your upholstery can get old and jacked up after a while, and you may have to replace the upholstery once every couple of years. So as you can see, some of these expenses of owning a boat, it's going to cost you a good chunk of change to enjoy the water. You could be talking $1,000 a year, maybe more. And that's not even including your payments for the boat. So take all that into consideration, and some people opt to do something a little bit differently instead of owning their own boat. And I've talked about this in one of my other videos, but there's a service called Freedom Boat Club. And Freedom Boat Club is a really cool service where you pay them monthly. It's not cheap, but you pay them monthly, and you can basically take out any type of boat whenever you want. You can take out any one of their boats pretty much whenever you want based on what they have available. You can take out fishing boats, you can take out pontoon boats. They've got a lot of different varieties, and they have locations all over the place, all over the US. So they have a location in Lake Lanier from what I understand, and you can just say, hey, look, I want to take out a fishing boat this weekend, and we're going to go, for a day, and pay for that, and you're done. Your monthly cost covers everything. So you don't have to worry about the cost of storing the boat, maintaining the boat, all that other stuff. So, that's something you're interested in. You should definitely check out Freedom Boat Club. Pretty cool option there for you. So again, if you're thinking about moving to North Georgia, of course, give me a call. My contact information is right here on the screen. All right, what'd you think about some of those costs of living in North Georgia? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know if there's anything I didn't cover that you'd like more information about. Have an awesome day, and we'll see you on the next video.